Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to the place to be each and every Sunday night. Where tonight on Top Split TV, we are coming to you live from the Circuit of the Americas, the West layout, which of course is the shortened or the abbreviated layout, and the place we are for round 11 of C25 of Sunday Night Lights, where tonight I'm joined by the birthday boy, the chaotic one himself, Mr. Corey Steinhauser. Corey, big night of action, although somewhat smaller field this week.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. There might be only 16 cars on track tonight, but we still have an absolutely quality field here for tonight's racing action. As you said, a 44.30 for the strength of field tonight, which is definitely not bad. It's right up there towards our average. And, we were worried that it might have been a little bit smaller than that, but I can see as we're looking through the cars that we have available here today, a lot of good names and some that we haven't seen for a while in top split action.
Absolutely. One that we have seen, though, this season is on screen at the moment. Naoya Nagai, of course, the king of quali this season. You can see him there putting some work into getting some heat into the tyres already on his outlap. Second plated car tonight is Giuseppe Tellini, the Italian driver, leading the way for their cohort tonight. Fraser Smith, who's won the last couple of races, joins us once again in car number 3 in the BMW-styled livery. Gol Kawabe, second of multiple Japanese. I think I've got about 5 or 6 I see in the field tonight, representing their club's strength of course. As Kawabe also putting some effort into warming up his tyres, just ahead of the second Italian driver there, Loris Amadio. Tellini and Amadio currently sitting second and third in the championship for this season. Takumi Yamato, third of the Japanese drivers, another good one in quali. He's the 6-plated car tonight, ahead of the first of 3 ANZ drivers here tonight. Team Clown's own Vasco Sorowski is the 7-plated car, just ahead of yet another Japanese driver, Hiroshi Ueda, who's car number 8, just ahead of Ruben Ray, the Iberian driver who joins us as the 9th seeded here tonight, just ahead of Lorenzo Zingaretti Zinga. The Z-Man joins us once again. He's car number 10, Corey.
Coming in as car number 11, a Brazilian driver, a name of Guto de Carvalho. Very interesting name. I'm pretty sure this is Guto's debut here in the top split racing action, which is great to see. Our 12th played car from Iberia is Ruben Martin Diaz. Then we got our second of the Aussie contingent, Team VDR Milo's Russell Clark from the Oz NZ Club in the 13th plated car. Lucky for some, unlucky for others. Hopefully good luck here for Russell. Then we got Hiroki Shoda from Japan as our 14th plated car. Another Oz NZ driver in Mitchell Nichols from the 15th plated car. And wrapping up the field, Japanese Masahiko Nagata as our 16th plated car here tonight, Alex.
Yeah, mate, and as you said, making his debut tonight, the Brazilian Guto de Carvalho. Oh, cheapest, I'll get it right one day. You did better than me, mate, just quietly. Although I know Cavallo has done about 1 billion races here this week, so I expect to see him making a good fist of his debut, albeit it wasn't the strongest qualifying from what I've seen. The other one I think I'll be looking forward to seeing how he goes is the 14 Hiroyuki Shoda. Shoda is big in the Japanese community at the moment, organises some good stuff for them, but it's his first time in the top split. Pretty enthusiastic young man, and he was pretty good. I raced him back at earlier this season. It was at the Hungaro ring, and he had some great pace. I'm looking forward to see how he goes. But Nagai once again setting the pace, some half a second ahead of the rest of the field on his first lap. Corey, looking to be the one to watch from the get-go once again.
I don't know what it is about Nagai and his qualifying efforts, but he always just puts in absolute 100% effort, and it always shows with his qualifying results being up towards the front each and every single week. He's already 5 tenths up on everyone on the first lap alone, Alex. But I think the first one that's going to be coming across the line to complete their second lap, it's going to be Oz NZ's Mitchell Nichols in the 15th plated car.
Yeah, the Caterpillar livery dawning the 15 here tonight. Nichols, of course, he's done 1 or 2 races in the top split last season, but this is the first time we've seen him for a while. This season we've been averaging the 4,900, so it's been harder for the local contingent to get a Guernsey. But tonight sees Nichols provisionally with his second lap sitting right up near the front on the front row, as it turns out. But there's a few more still to come as we see Yamato drop it on the front row. Shorter just behind him. Nagai now, as he stretched his lead. Tellini sticks it on the front row. Nagai's dropped to 44 in quali. That's a decent effort. Be tough to match. 7/10 ahead of his nearest rival at this stage. Zinger, the Z-Man, crosses the line as well. Goes from 10th to 9th, as it turns out, Corey.
Yeah, sometimes it's really hard to gain positions here in qualifying. I'm watching Ruben Diaz right now, the 12th plated car. He's just come across onto the start-finish line. And let's see what kind of a time he can put in. And it looks like no improvement there for Ruben, still sitting in 12th. I think we're just waiting on one more car to finish their lap here, Alex, because I'm not sure if Kawabe-san is actually going to be putting in a lap time.
Yeah, he's just managed 12th, which is not where he wants to be, of course, but we have 4 Japanese drivers at the moment in the top 4. 3 Japanese drivers in the top 4. I was getting my numbers mixed up there, but Kawabe not one of them. It was actually, of course, Nagai, who we see regularly up the front, doing a cool down lap at the moment. He's stuck it on pole by a margin too, 7/10 if you don't mind. And there's no one left out there doing a lap. They're all on cool down laps, including Russell Clark, the third. But as we wait for the clock to tick down, folks, don't forget to go check out the Locked On iRacing podcast this week. Drops on a Wednesday, Thursday each week. And it's where you'll find the latest ANZ news and views, including the full SNL wrap each week. Check it on your favourite podcatcher or app of choice. Now, there we go. Nagai and Ueda, the last 2 out on track. As we just wait for the clock to tick down, there's a couple that didn't set a second lap. That's what we're waiting for, Corey. But in 10 seconds' time, we'll be away.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. And it's going to be an exciting race here, I believe. 7/10 for Nagai over Tellini. That's no small margin, and these guys are definitely going to be hanging it all out on the racetrack.
Yeah, mate. If he can get away, though, it should... he'll be tough to catch, I think, once he starts hot lapping. But let's go check out our grid for tonight's race. Naoya Nagai sticks it on pole. That's the bonus points he needs to keep his championship hopes alive with just 2 rounds to go. Tellini joins him on the front row for Doctors Wave Italy. Takumi Yamato from Japan sits in third on the second row. Joining him will be Hiroyuki Shoda, who makes his debut tonight, starts from the second row of the grid. Mitchell Nichols, the leading ANZ driver in quali tonight, starting from 5th, just ahead of the second of the Italian drivers, Laura Samadio, who starts 6th. Fraser Smith won back-to-back races in the last couple of weeks. 9/10 off pole, starting from 7th tonight. Joining him on the 4th row of the grid will be Vasco Sorowski for Team Clowns, the second of the ANZ drivers in the field here tonight. 9th off the grid will be Lorenzo Zingaretti Zinga. Joining him on the 5th row will be Guto di Cavallo, the Brazilian driver making his debut, starting a fair way down. Hiroshi Ueda, the next Japanese driver in the field, starting 11th, just ahead of his compatriot Gold Kawabe in 12th. 13th on the grid, Ruben Diaz from Iberia. 14th, starting off tonight, will be Masahiko Nagata, another Japanese driver making his debut here tonight, starting from 14th, just ahead of Team Milo bossman Russell Clark, the third, and the other Iberian, Ruben Ray, starting in 16th out of 16 cars here tonight, Corey.
That's right, Alex. As we said before, strength of field is a 44.30 for this race. So we're just waiting for everyone to get on the grid. Sounds like they are, as the red lights mean rev. And the green lights mean go. We're underway for the penultimate round here, Season 3, 2021 of racing action in the Skippies. In fact, no, I'm wrong. It's Season 4. As everyone streams down into turn number 1, it looks like so far, a little bit of contact. Someone's gone bowling in the mid-pack, and I do believe that might be
Sorowski's
one of our Aussies that's caught up in that one, Alex.
Yeah, Sorowski's caught in the midst of that. Meanwhile, taking advantage, Cavallo's jumped up 4 positions. The Brazilian on debut, and he's up into 6th. That's a very tough corner to go 3 wide on cold tyres, and we saw why that is, as Unfortunately, Swarovski's ended up worse for wear out of that one, Corey, but it's Nagai out to half second already. Can the Italian stallion of Giuseppe Tellini hang on to him in the background as making a move? Mitchell Nichols. This is what we saw from the AZ driver at Mid-Ohio when he debuted last season. It was action aplenty wherever he went and already making the moves on Yamato.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. He's sitting up in the 4th place right now in the Caterpillar liveried car. And now he's just going to try and chase on the tail of Amadio here. But it looks like at the very front of the pack, Nagai's son definitely trying to take the advantage that he's started to get. And he's already out to nearly a full second gap as we almost end the first lap here, Alex.
Yeah, you're right. 9/10. He's almost gone and hot lapping. Then you got the two Italians of Tellini and Amadio wearing the prancing pony livery here tonight. The Ferrari-clad Italian driver sitting in third, just ahead of Mitchell Nichols, who has jumped Yamato, as we said, in the 15-plated car. Looking quite aggressive on the nose cone there tonight in his Caterpillar livery, just ahead of Yamato, and I expect Cavallo to have some say in this as well. As I said, up 4 positions, and he makes the move on Yamato into turn 1. Look at that slicing maneuver, tucked in behind the tailpipe of Nichols, and made the move count. Yamato being shuffled back. Now he's got to deal with Shorter, who himself is going to go side by side through the S's, if you don't mind. Sumimasen senpai, I'm coming on the way through, he says as he gets it done. Now we've got Fraser Smith similarly carving a path through. Oh, I beg your pardon, it was Smith who was making the move. I got it wrong. And he's now chasing through Yamato, trying to move his way forward, although he started 7th and he's stuck in 7th. Maybe he got caught up in that early incident, Corey.
It's very possible that he might have, Alex. We know Fraser can be a little bit of an unlucky driver sometimes, getting caught up in incidents that aren't his own. But I think he might have actually been the instigator of that turn 1 incident, coming up the inside, pulling a little bit. But it looks like for now, everyone's starting to settle down a little bit, find their own little groove as they make their way around this quite technical, shorter version of the Circuit of the Americas track.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go see if we can't check out what happened at turn 1 here. We're sitting with Diaz as he comes in. I'm wondering if we sit with Swarovski. Oh, I'll tell you what, the 3 car of Smith swung right out to the outside to open up the corner. Almost cut the nose off Swarovski, and it was 3 wide on the way in. Just waiting to... 4 wide on the way in. The 11 car coming up the inside. Brazilian then, and it compresses into 3, and there's no way they're going to make that work. I've got to tell you, I don't think the Brazilian had any right to be there, and Kawabe then hit Swarovski, and I'm surprised Swarovski's still going, honestly. Yeah, that was full send mode from the Brazilian. No wonder he's up 4 spots, and Kawabe driving off with damage as well. Yeah, I don't think there'll be any Christmas cards involved from those folks, but folks get to continue on. Tellini now, he's actually pulled a couple of tenths back in. He was almost a second. Now he's 6.5 tenths and gaining on Nagai. I was all ready to close the book and give it to Nagai at the end of lap 2, but Tellini, the Italian, really putting in the hard yards to stay with the Japanese flyer.
That's exactly right, Alex. And having a look as well, it looks like the gap between Tellini and Amadio is over a second as well now. So Amadio sitting there in 3rd. I have a hard time trying to keep up with these guys, as all 3 of them have actually pulled away from Nichols, who's sitting back there in the 4th position, and Nichols himself actually under quite a bit of pressure right now on the 11th plated Cavallo. So a little bit of hashtag pockets of excitement going on here, Alex, as this tight technical nature of this track is certainly breaking up the field a little bit here.
Yeah, that's it, mate. And Cavallo now battling with Yamato and Smith, who managed to avoid most of that stuff on the... You see him swing out wide at turn 1 to avoid most of the carnage as it went 4 wide briefly into turn 1. But that leaves Nichols on the front of this pack. He's got Cavallo tucked in right behind him. Like I said, Cavallo's done like literally dozens of races here this week. he streamed the other day for about I think it was about 14 hours, and each one of those hours is a skippy race, of course. So he's got some runs under the belt here, looking to put that to full effect in the biggest race of the week, Corey.
And indeed, he's definitely doing his best to do that here, Alex. He's just sitting there in the 5th position, aggressively following Nichols. And looks like in the background there, Yamato is about to get attacked from Fraser Smith, who's trying to move his way up into the 6th position. So very nicely. It's a very nice move coming into turn 11 there. Start making their way towards turn 13 and eventually the triple right-hander of 14. These guys definitely pushing the limits of the technical nature of this track. Some people absolutely love the technical tracks here, Alex. Some people preferring the drafty tracks. So this track has a little bit of everything for both people.
Yeah, that's it, mate. And it looks like Smith might have actually picked up a bit of damage in that first lap incident because the rear wing looking a little bit second-hand. I doubt we'll see any heroics from the UK&I driver this week, as off to the races appears to be Nagai, and hanging on to him, Tellini doing a fantastic job. 6/10 behind as they've both ducked in. In fact, the top three have ducked into the 44s. Saw Nagai do a 43 in the warm-up race, so hopefully we can see that kind of pace again this race. And if he can, maybe Tellini gets involved and gives us some racing as well. Just jumping back to that second pack, Cavallo's made the move, and he's now ahead of Nichols. And I'm wondering if I can... Yeah, there we go. Let's see what happened. I'm imagining it's at turn 1. Yep, up the inside he goes. This time only 2 wide, and Nichols cedes the corner. Corner's yours, sir, and away you go. Nichols then tucks in behind, and they're off again. So Cavallo making a good fist after making his presence known. Lap 1, turn 1. He's making hay while the sun shines, so to speak. Up 6 positions. Only 1 behind him, Ruben Martin Diaz. Diaz is up 5, and lo and behold, Team Bossman of Team Milo, Russell Clark III, is also up 5 positions, sitting just inside the top 10, Corey.
That's right, Alex. And when you went to the replay to watch the overtaking maneuver take place, Smith had a big look up the inside of Nichols, up in the S's heading towards turn 4. The action is still plenty here in this second pack, but it looks like Cavallo starting to pull away from Nichols here. He's out to 6/10 in front of him already, Alex.
Yeah, speaking from personal experience, Cavallo's got some pace, I can tell you. I had a gap over him of over a couple of seconds in one race, and he pared it back over about 10 laps. So I can confirm he's got some good pace. And I don't expect him to threaten the front 3, but I think he might threaten to stretch his legs, as we see Smith now make the same move up the inside of Nichols into turn 1. Gets it done. The ANZ driver tucks in behind once again. Like I said, I don't expect the same heroics that we saw at Nürburgring for Smith this time round, but certainly looking to cement his position in the top 5, Corey.
And indeed, he's going to try his best to do that. His next target is going to be Cavallo. It's just a question of whether he's got the pace to try and catch back up to him. A little bit of damage he's got could hinder him a little bit, but I reckon in these technical sections, he's going to be able to try and pull that gap a little bit. Something else worth noting is Tellini has got the fastest lap of the race right now, Alex. He pulled a 44.568, which is incredible speed around here at the moment.
Yeah, he's just got that sniffer draft there. He's still sitting about 6-7 tenths behind now up to, he's coming back down to 7. Looks like Nagai's really finding his way through that tight infield section. You know, it is the third sector, but that's easy to say because the third sector here, there's only 3, and the third sector covers pretty much half the track. It starts before turn 12 and ends at the start-finish line, so it's literally half the track, the final sector. But it does have those very deeply technical series of hairpin corners that are so unique to the circuit of the Americas, and it does seem to be where Nagai finds an extra leg, although now as we start the new lap 7, almost halfway through, we will be at the end of this one. Nagai still only stretching out It's about 0.5, 0.6 as Tellini really now starting to get within that really attacking zone of the draft. Once you're inside half a second, you can hold sort of 4/10. It'll bring you up the remaining couple to get really in a position to attack for the lead, Corey.
That's exactly right, Alex. And the draft along the front straight there is definitely what's keeping Tellini in this battle. Just having a look at the lap times, it looks like they're mostly getting 1Xs around this track in certain places. The guy's last lap was actually a 44.445, and Tellini ran a 44.539, so they both went faster than the fastest time set by Tellini. But unfortunately, the laps just haven't been officially counting because they've been getting off track. Same too for Amadio, who actually has not got a single clean lap in so far, Alex.
Yeah, it's one of the probably the characteristics of this track, if I'm honest. The 1Xs or the incident points are very easy to find. And they're a bit sketchy in the telemetry, but at the moment, if it's to be believed, Amadio's sitting on 10 incident points and we're yet to cross the line for halfway, which we will do so at the end of this lap. So he's only got 17 before he disappears into a parallel universe permanently from this race. So the Italian driver in the nice liveried, or the Ferrari styled Skip Barber livery, he'd better be careful, Corey?
That's definitely right, Alex. It's very easy to get 1Xs around here. I did a little bit of practice just before this race came up, and it's very easy to get it wrong and just overstep a mark. I mean, I thought I was taking it very easy myself, being the terrible driver that I am. But even then, I just found myself overstepping some of these bounds very easily. It's one of the really technical natures of this track, where you just got to hit your marks perfectly first time every time, and it's just so difficult. As I say that, Nagai-san has gotten in a new fastest lap, and it's a 44.295, Alex.
Yeah, as we saw Smith make the move on Cavallo through the first sector at turn 4 and 5, and he's done that twice now. He got past Yamato in the same way, I believe was. It might have been shorter that he got past, but this time put the pressure on Cavallo and got it done, and moves him up into P4. Like I said, I don't know that he'll challenge the 44.3 that Nagai did last lap with only 44.8s, but in clean air, maybe he can find that half a second. I don't know if he can find enough though, as he is some 3 seconds off Amadio and a further 2 seconds. So he's got 5 or 6 seconds to catch up in the second half of this race. Not sure he can do that, Corey. Even Smith, who has shown that he can run down the front runners with the best of them.
It's definitely going to be a hard task, especially since we're already going to be 8 laps in the books when our leaders hit the start-finish line this time. So definitely a very tall order to do that in 6 laps. But, if anyone can do it, I think Fraser Smith is just crazy enough to be able to pull that off. Waiting for him to cross the line here to see what kind of a time he did. Mario with a 45.222, and Fraser Smith this time with a 44.4. He's definitely got the pace right now, Alex, to try and pull that off.
Yeah, unfortunately, though, 3/10 slower than Nagai. So Nagai still pulling a bit of a gap, and he pulled half a tenth on Tellini last time round as well, who's still stuck in that no man's land between draft where you can attack or you're close enough to have a look, and versus look at the attitude of the Italian's car now as he goes through the shortcut at turn 6 out onto the back straight this time round. And again, my telemetry says Tellini's got 13 incident points. So the question is, if he gets close enough with only 4 incident points, which a contact will give you, does he still have the guts to attack? So, and even still, 13 incident points supposedly at this point of the race with, 5 to go when they cross the line next time round. It really does question the value of attacking from here, although he's right in amongst it. And look, he's still just inside 7/10. So a lot of work for the Italian to do. Smith similarly, he's got the Brazilian debutant behind him in Carvalho. And he's coming through this triple right-hander here at 16, 17, 18. As you say, it's nice when the tyres are up. You can go flat chat through there in 4th gear. Comes to the penultimate corner there, drops it down into 3rd. And then lines up the final corner The quick guys here only go down to second gear for that final corner, Corey, and they'll get it done. Short run of the line here, so you want to have had your overtaking done by the time you enter the final corner because you won't have time once you exit.
That's exactly right, Alex, and it's very hard to try and set up a move for that final corner too. Such as the speed that you get coming out of the triple right-hander going into the penultimate corner. These guys are really going to have to plan their moves for somewhere earlier in the lap. Turn 10 coming down the end of what would be the long back straight here for the GP layout is definitely worth a shout to try and make overtakes happen. Just watching the front of the pack here still, this time Tellini pulling a 10th back on the guy. So he's definitely just in that little bit of no man's land where he's like kind of half gaining, but kind of half not, Alex.
Absolutely, and I just saw Tellini picked up a couple more incident points, so he's really skating on thin ice. Zinger made a move into turn 1, and it got very interesting. We might go check that out again as they ran up the line. It got very close there for a minute. You can see, no, it was just nice and clean. Another one getting, oh, Nichols turned in quite hard there, but got done. Oh, no, it was Diaz, I think, actually. There, I just got confused by the nose cone. But yeah, Diaz behind him got confused, almost turned in on the Italian there, but not to be. And that seems to be where the battle is, though. There's a small battle pack of about 5 cars here, led by Zinger at the moment, who's up 1 position. Yamato, after qualifying well, he's down 4 spots in 7th and sitting in behind Mitchell Nichols, who's been, after having a great start, Nichols, he's really starting to find the pace a bit hot as we see Smith and Cavallo starting to drop the ANZ driver. Meanwhile, Nagai and Tellini, well, those incident points can't be right because I've got him at 18, so he should already have disappeared. So I don't know what the telemetry's doing, Corey, but it's not the right thing.
Either way, Alex, if he's sitting on 18 on your telemetry, I think he might be getting really close. I've just noticed that the gap has started to extend between himself and the guy here a little bit. I'm pretty sure he's getting close. He's starting to watch his lines a little bit more closely now. Another thing too I've noticed is Fraser Smith, and he has 1.3 seconds between himself and Amadio sitting ahead of him in 3rd. And, you know, the last lap he gained 6/10 on Amadio. So he's definitely starting to pull in the Italian there into 3rd place.
Yeah, absolutely. Smith's got some great clean air pace. We've seen that before. Like I said, he can chase down a leader. I think he's probably got a Mario in his sights. I don't think he'll trouble the front 2, though. Now, though, Nagai, he's ready to hot lap the last 3 laps. We're on 4 to go. 3 when they cross the line, and he's broken the back of Tellini. Tellini now 1.3, now extends to 1.4. Nagai's free, and it's his race to lose from here. Amadio now, he'll be staring at his mirrors as Smith once again shows that he can chase him down because he is at that magic 1 second mark that puts him well and truly in shot of grabbing that final step on the podium, Corey.
That's exactly right, Alex. And you can see already Amadio going very defensive all the way down to the red painted line on the inside of the track, trying to break that draft from Fraser Smith. Fraser Smith still gaining time on Amadio, though. He's now down to 9/10 of a second, and Smith, definitely one who loves the technical sections of this track, he'll be pulling that gap in with every single little corner that we have here. This might be the battle to watch as we start heading towards the penultimate lap. But in saying that, it's also going to be interesting to see just how fast the guy can go when he has no pressure on him here, Alex.
Yeah, that's it. And you can see it was Amadio down the start-finish straight trying to break the draft. And he clipped the wall. In the background, we can see Cavallo really giving it a crack and caught the grass trying to hang on to Fraser Smith. And I think that'll actually cost him the draft. Amadio now will be staring big time in his mirrors. Smith now caught up another couple of tenths. He's only 8/10 behind with 2 to go. I reckon that'll shape up for a decent battle. 1.8 seconds now is the gap between Nagai and Tellini. And can I tell you, Corey, there's no Julian O'Fray here this week. And with 2 races to go, I tell you, Nagai's a shot. He's sitting at about 5th or 6th in the championship at the moment. If he gets 2 wins and 2 poles, the championship's his, mate. So this is a big race for the Japanese driver, well and truly in the hunt for the championship overall. As we have 2 to go now, Tellini is, well, he's out of it. You've got Amadio now with Smith all over him. He's inside 7/10. He's now almost down to 6 as he takes a really open line. He doesn't take the narrow option into turn 1, really opens it up to get the good exit, and that's helped him. He's still that 6/10 behind, though. This seems to be where he starts reeling it in if he can. Cavallo's almost been dropped. Nichols has been dropped, but he's got a battle with Yamato coming up in the last couple, Corey. That should be well worth the price of admission.
Exactly right, Alex. And as I was going to say before, when I realized I didn't have my mic unmuted, the Gaisan, as it stands right now, only has 6 rounds counted towards his total points. So every finish that he gets in this last 2 races of the season, especially this win, going to count big time towards his total. So as you said, he's definitely in with a shot, and we won't know how the championship is going to fall until the end of that final race. At the moment, as it stands, he's going to be winning this one clean and clear. He's got 2.3 seconds now to Tellini, and Amadio has Fraser Smith all over his gearbox right now.
Yeah, that's right, mate. So every point, it's nothing like putting some pressure on yourself. Nagai obviously thriving under pressure. He's put it on pole every time he's been with us on a Sunday night as we watch this battle between Amadio and Smith as it develops, and will no doubt heat up over the final lap. But maybe he's performing under pressure. That's really what it comes down to, I think, because Nagai has really been shining in the second half of this season, which is where he's really knuckled down and put it on the line each and every week. And he's got pole pretty much every time. He's won a few. This will be his 3rd or 4th win here tonight, and that's how you make a season. That's how you win a championship. Consistency, even over a short period of time. So he didn't leave himself any drop weeks, actually. And you're right. This and next week will make his eight races that count towards the Sunday Night Lights championship. And he needed to win both, and probably needed to get pole in both to take it out. And he's done that here tonight. So 1 from 2. It's going to be interesting to see what he can do next week, particularly if O'Fray is here to defend that top step on the championship podium. Tellini now some 3 seconds behind. Nagai driving away. Fraser Smith has a look up the inside. Amadio has, I don't know, it didn't look like contact to me. He's got it done, and the Brazilian coming in behind having a sniff as well. Cavallo's not going to leave anything on the table, Corey, as they come through this snaking section in the middle. Amadio coming back at Fraser, shows the nose, forces his way through. Smith now trying to come back at the Italian and dives underneath him. Will the Italian respect the move? I think he might have to. He's got the spotters call as they come through 16, 17 and 18 now. This is what we came to see, folks, as they come down to the penultimate corner for the penultimate time. The Brazilian of Cavallo now showing the nose, forced to go to the outside of the final corner this time round. This sets it up for the final run into turn 1. Unsettled was Fraser Smith. He will not have the run into turn 1 that he needs to get past at this stage, Corey.
That's right, Alex, and that's actually the end of the race there.
No.
The action was getting so exciting, you thought we still had 1 more to go.
I did.
But that was a great little exchange there between Cavallo and Smith. And even Amadio, that was a battle that raged on that entire lap, Alex. I was watching them as soon as they crossed the start-finish line. Big moves being put by Smith and Amadio through turns 1 and into the S's section as well.
Oh, I called it like it was the last lap anyway, I suppose. But, you know, got so excited. There was finally some action and toe-to-toe. What a drive from Smith there, really. It took him the whole race to have those final few moments. Couldn't quite get it done. The Italian Amadio put it all on the line once he was caught by Smith, and Cavallo, the Brazilian, had a great look too. But it was, as we see, Kawabe, our final competitor, cross the line. Let's go check out our overall race results here tonight. Oh, hang on. There we go. There's the button. For Sunday Night Lights, Season 25, Round 11 from Circuit of the Americas. The truncated layout here to put on some good action in those closing stages, that's for sure. Naoya Nagai, once he broke the back of them, Corey, he was gone. And he took it out by 3.5 seconds. Tellini did a fantastic job. Honestly, I thought Nagai might have skipped away a fair bit earlier than that, but Tellini, the Italian, took it to him, and it wasn't until the final couple of laps that Nagai was able to get away. But Tellini, very good drive there in second, just ahead of his Italian compatriot, Loris Amadio. Those two sitting on the podium of the season overall at the moment, but they're right under threat now as Nagai charges up the order with his third win of the season. Fraser Smith put on a great show, once again showing that he knows how to drive through a field. And but for the outstanding efforts of Amadio in that final sector and a half, he would have otherwise grabbed a very unlikely podium, just ahead of Guto de Carvalho on debut, the Brazilian managing a top 5 finish after that early entry into turn 1 that caused a bit of chaos. P6 tonight went, and the leading ANZ driver was Mitchell Nichols, just ahead of Takumi Yamato, the Japanese driver there in 7th. Lorenzo Zingaretti Zinga, the Italian driver, he's finished in 8th. Ruben Diaz, the Iberian, in 9th. Russell Clark, the 3rd. Team Milo Bossman in the top 10 tonight, finishing in 10th. Hiroyuki Shorter, after qualifying on the second row, fell all the way down to P11 in his SNL top split debut, just ahead of his compatriot Hiroshi Ueda, who rounds out the SNL point scoring positions in P12. 13th tonight was Ruben Ray, the Iberian. 14th, Masahiko Nagata, the Japanese driver, on his debut. 15th tonight, the unfortunate Team Clowns racer of Vasco Swarovski. And final spot in the field, as we saw him cross the line earlier, the final Japanese driver, Goal Kawabe. Kawabe-san not having a good night out at the races, as they say, Corey.
And no, neither did Vasco Swarovski, 15th and 16th for those two, which is a great shame because both of them are really, really good drivers. But it's just the nature of racing sometimes. And I'm just having a look at the official incident count. Bellini was sitting on 14 at the end of the race, so even if he could catch Nagai, he'd have to be very careful with trying to make a move. And same too for Amadio, who's sitting on 15 incidents there, Alex. So that final corner contact that happened between Cavallo and Smith, if they had made contact with Amadio as well, that might have been Amadio's race done and dusted right there in the final corner on the final lap.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. So, yeah, top effort for those guys, and great that they could put on a show. Now, we're going to grab folks in the order that they finished for an interview. Those who have joined us, we'll grab Fraser Smith, who once again showed us that he knows how to drive through a field. It wasn't for the win here tonight. He was going for the podium right there at the end, Fraser. But tell us, mate, how did you enjoy COTA this week? Oh, is he with us? Have I got him muted again? He is. Hang on. Let me hit a button here. Fraser, we got you.
There we go. Hello. Yeah, it was good. I mean, as usual, I only really do my first laps in the morning before the race. So I was quite a long way off at the start. Messed up qualifying, which probably didn't help me. But yeah, it was fun. I'm quite lucky to survive turn 1, really.
Yeah, we just saw your car up on 2 wheels, which is not the quickest way or the safest way around in these, I'm sure. But I'm pretty sure you weren't expecting 4 wide, becoming 3 wide, becoming a 2-wheeled skippy there. So, but still, mate, I can see all the cars that were in front of you. Most of them were behind you by the end, and that battle at the end there looked a bit of fun.
That was good. I was obviously I had a 4X from turn 1, and I was probably pushing my luck on off tracks really. So I was trying to be super careful. Might not look like it, but yeah, I mean, he defended well. Couldn't, without being a torpedo, I couldn't really get through. So
yeah, that's it, mate. I think a few folks were shy on incident points at the end, but that's the nature of this track. But mate, great drive again. Great to see you back out there. Hopefully there's more of that next week and into the next season. But is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, I'll definitely be back for the whole of next season for sure. And yeah, just thanks for everyone I was racing against and yourselves for the broadcast.
Awesome. Thanks, Fraser, mate. Talk to you soon.
Cheers. See ya.
There you go, Corey. Fraser Smith sounds like a good young fella, and he's certainly a good young driver as well, as he's shown in the latter parts of this season.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that he wasn't able to make that move stick on a Mario. It's just a whole battle of do you go super aggressive and risk contact and ruining both races, or take a little bit of the high road and just have a little bit of give and take. And he seems like a give and take kind of guy. And at the end of the day, great result for both him and Mario and Cavallo as well. And all three of them should be proud of how they ran those races, because nice clean racing between them. And Fraser, damn, he's got some pace.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Well, Mario's no slouch, honestly. He's quite an aggressive racer in my experience, but he's also very experienced. He's been doing this for a while now, and he and Tellini have been, well, mate, they were second and third last season as well. And in our biggest bumper crop of a season so far, sitting on the podium positions now, fighting it out between themselves, because I think Nagai will get them, depending on what happens next week. But other than that, they've put on a great season once again. But let's grab ANZ driver, Mr. Vasco Sorowski, who I think on lap one was a pretty big victim of the opening lap melee. I might actually go back to the start of that and see what happened, mate, because I was saying on the broadcast, it looked 4 wide, 3 wide, and then very messy.
Hello, guys. I don't know, someone's fired a missile from back somewhere, I think. That gap disappeared very quickly. So, yeah. Anyway, what do you do? It's racing, long day. Bit done. I'll give you a report from the back of the field, but there wasn't much, just empty track in front of us and just turning or going around and around. But, yeah, the boys at the front seem to do okay by the look of it. I don't know. I missed half of that. But qualifying is very important. I'm going to say this again, very. But yeah.
Yeah, it certainly is, mate. And this, I'm just watching, and I did notice it at the time. Fraser Smith opened up the corner nicely. It sort of invited people up the inside, and then it was 3 wide in front of you as well. I even missed that. And then Fraser comes to take that apex, and there's, I don't know. The Brazilian there, he was right up the inside, wasn't he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there was a couple of rows back, but it's all good. But, yeah, I felt bad for Kawabe because he ended up getting caught up in it as well. And I'm glad that Fraser didn't end up with a broken car out of it and he got the lap with the rest of them. So, yeah.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
That's
it's all
it,
good.
mate. It's all part of racing, but you got to take the good with the bad, right? So, but that's it, mate. That's it. So, look, thanks for joining us, mate. It's always great to see you out there. I'm hoping that the final week will bring a bit more sunshine or bright spots in it than this one. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Well, mate, I'm pretty sure it was Corey's birthday during the week, so there's a happy birthday there. And, thank you to you guys as well for everything you do. And obviously the boys for, sticking by me and putting over my yelling and screaming on the spotters line then throughout the whole race. But, we don't need to know about that, right?
How many was it this week, mate?
Oh, I don't know, mate. There's a few in the air. I think it was just 2. So, it was a bit quiet in there. Yeah.
All the voices in the head, mate. They go quiet eventually.
It's all good. Thanks, guys. Thank you again for everything you do.
No worries, mate. We'll talk to you soon.
Done. Thank you.
There you go, Corey. That was Mr. Vasco Sorowski, one of the good ones, of course. Didn't go his way tonight, and it's a very second-hand looking Skippy on the screen, but not as much as Kawabe in front of him, no doubt. Well, I mean, Sorowski's still got 4 wheels, Kawabe's only got 3, so that's the way it goes sometimes, though, mate, and not Sorowski's night, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's exactly right, but at least he can still come in here with a smile on his face, have a bit of laugh. Thank you also, Vasco, for the birthday wishes. And, it is what it is, as he said. And, I'm sure he'll be back bigger and better next week. And he'll put on a show for us at the final round. And, he's an exciting little driver. And it's great to see, just how far he's come in the last season alone.
Yeah, that's it, mate. That's it. Well, that might do us for this week. The questions for us all to ponder during the week. Can the guy go back to back to back? And well, he didn't win the last couple, but he's gone pretty close. Lots of poles, and he's right in it for the championship. He pretty much needs to stick it on pole and almost win it next week. And if he does that, he might even take it out. But the other question is, does O'Fray turn up to defend that top spot in the championship so far? I don't think he's won one yet. Corey, but he's every chance if he turns up and defends it next week. But speaking of next week, mate, tell the folks at home what's coming up for you.
So it could be a little bit of a boring week here for me. Of course, last week I did have my birthday, and we did a massive 18-hour stream on Friday. Got a little bit drunk and had a little bit of fun. Even got a top 5 in a 360 race for the first time in over a year. So that was a bit of fun. On Wednesday, over on the Aussie Sim Commentator channel, twitch.tv/Aussie_Sim_commentator, the Output Racing League will be heading to the Richmond Raceway for the final race of the regular season. And then we go off into the playoffs after that. And that should be a pretty interesting time over there for those boys. Throughout the week, you could probably see me doing a little bit of streaming here and there, maybe a little bit of GTA RP, maybe a little bit of chat AI racing, and hey, maybe a little bit of a dirt race here or there.
Nice.
Saturday night, I'm going to be at the Perth Motorplex for Speedway Memes, so make sure you watch out for the videos on Sunday morning for that one. And it's back here next week with you, Alex, so we can call the final race of this season from the Brands Hatch GP track.
Nice one. Yes, of course. Now, folks, everything Top Split TV is on your screen at the moment. Join us in the Discord where we do the broadcast from, the post-race interviews, and, of course, all the scores and everything are posted there regularly each week. Top Split YouTube is where you'll find this and every other race broadcast for the full 25 seasons back catalogue of Sunday and Monday Night Lights. And Top Split TV, of course, is where you'll find Corey and I here each and every week, 9:15 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time, which is about GMT plus 11. Set your clocks, folks, and join us here each and every week. Hit like, thumbs up, subscribe at all those different places. It really does help us tremendously, and we do appreciate the support that we get each and every week, both on track and off, making this season our biggest season yet. So thank you to everyone for your support. And on behalf of Corey, I'm Alex McKellar saying thank you again and ciao for now.